Hey guys, just wanted to make a quick video on my Warlock Lightning Surge build. I've been using this since pre-Edge of Fate, but I find it just got a lot better with Edge of Fate's stat rework. There's really not that much that you have to do to make this work. If I'm being honest, if you have a 1-2 punch shotgun or Bastion, and you have a high melee stat, you're already halfway there. So looking at Prismatic, we're going to be using the Lightning Surge aspect. While sliding, you use a melee. This creates a lightning strike, and you slide forward. It creates a big AoE damage explosion. We're going to be using Feed the Void with Devour. This gives us our grenade energy back and heals us whenever we get kills. I like Phoenix Dive just for the lower cooldown and the just the more mobile way you can use it. I don't like standing in a rift personally. There are times where if I'm in a team setting, I like using rift instead, but personal preference. These are pretty mandatory in my opinion: Vortex Grenade and Arcane Needle. Arcane Needle gives you 3 charges of melee. Vortex Grenade, simply because of the fact that we can combine it with Facet of Dominance, which will allow us to weaken targets. No need for a tractor, you can weaken on your own. Along with Arcane Needle, we're using Facet of Dawn, so we can throw an Arcane Needle as a powered melee hit, and that'll give us Radiant. Or we can do the Lightning Surge, it doesn't matter. The reason why I bring up throwing the needle to give yourself Radiant is for champions, and I'll get into that later. I'm also using Facet of Courage, so all of our light abilities do more damage to enemies afflicted with a Darkness debuff. Throwing Arcane Needle unravels people. This is a Darkness debuff. So you can weaken, throw a Darkness debuff, and then our Lightning Slide is going to get even more damage because of Facet of Courage. Facet of Protection I like, just because while you're surrounded, you are more resistant to damage, and when you're Transcendent, even more so. And then Facet of Balance, just defeating targets with light damage gives more melee. Defeating targets with darkness damage grants more grenade. Pretty straightforward. Like I said, you want to pump your stats as much as possible into melee. Past that, it's personal preference. I think super is pretty much what a lot of people are building into across the board. So I have my aim is 200 melee with fonts, but right now I'm just using 1 melee font on gloves. This gives 20 to my melee stat anytime I have an orb of power. I'm using firepower. Sorry, this is wrong. I need to change this. Not firepower. We want to use heavy-handed. Heavy-handed, your powered melee final blows create orbs of power. And then momentum transfer. Whenever we deal damage with a grenade, reduces our melee cooldown. Devour is giving us our grenade cooldown back pretty quickly, so feeding into that, we can then get our melee back quicker. Helmet, you're going to want to use Siphon of Choice. I use the same element in my energy and my heavy, which I'm using Yeartide and Unwavering Duty. Reason being, this takes care of overload champions with rapid fire, and when I'm Radiant, I can swap to Unwavering Duty for barrier champs. And Bastion has Unstop built in, so all 3 champion types are covered with this build. If you don't have Unwavering Duty, you can use any heavy machine gun. I personally don't think it matters too much what you use in the heavy slot as long as it doesn't have a conflict and you're able to take out champions. Conflict meaning in your artifact here, say if you have Unstoppable Sniper. If you're using Whisper, well, it's got intrinsic Unstoppable, so Radiant isn't going to be able to work on it, right? So that's kind of what I'm getting at. Bastion is the key. You can do this with any 1-2 punch shotgun, but I like Bastion's utility for the anti-champ and for the longer 1-2 punch, essentially. So, we got the Cabal in here. We're going to make some orbs, get ourselves armor charge. We can get that melee stat bonus. Okay. So here's how the rotation will look. You spawn in your big guy, right? Grenade, needle, here, Bastion, slide. Back up, Bastion, slide. That's it. That's the whole thing. Prismatic, throw a grenade, Bastion, slide. See behind him, I've already hit 66 total damage. 66k. This is actually insane because we haven't touched heavy. This is all with special ammo. Sometimes that'll happen, I get the wrong attack instead of a slide, but as you can see, the damage is pretty incredible. You're just stacking up so many different sources of damage, but also the slide itself is just great. So the DPS isn't anything too crazy, but the total damage is where it's at. Alright, so I'm in a Grandmaster solo op right now. One thing I forgot to mention as well. I slapped on some random tier 4, it's not random, it's tier 4 TechSec gear with melee, super, and weapons. This is my personal stat choice. I do have the class item I forgot to mention as well, which is Synthos is the important part. Inmost Light is good too. You can also do Assassin Synthos, which every time you get a melee kill will make you invisible. Really good. Again, melee super and 4-piece TechSec, because why not? You're going to deal more kinetic damage to shields with Bastion, and then when you break a shield with Bastion, you get the disorienting burst. It's really good. So again, stats aren't super important, just pump melee as much as you can. I'm not going to worry too much about the little guys here. I just want to kind of show how this is effective against champions and mini bosses, etc. Alright, so here's a barrier champ. And he's gone. Again, using Lightning Surge gives you Devour. Devour lets you heal. And you can just chain kills to keep healing. As you can see, most things just don't even stand a chance. It's hilarious. See, now here we have a bit of a problem. There's our champ we need to stun with Radiant. So I throw a needle. I swap to my heavy machine gun. He didn't even have a chance to pop his shield up. Fine. What about this brig? Do you think this brig can hold up? I don't. And he's gone. I also forgot to mention, whenever you get kills with the Lightning Surge, you get Amplified, which we all know Amplified is great because you can just start moving like a freak. And with any luck, I'll one-shot the boss. Oh yeah, this one's phase locked though, so not really going to be a full show of force. And the jolt that comes off of the slide is massive. Having 3 charges, being able to get it back when you use it, it's really good. See, that'll happen sometimes. I tried to spin my camera and slide and melee, and only an Arcane Needle came out. About it. So yeah, I mean, if you guys have any questions, just shoot me a comment. You guys on Discord know how to get at me. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. I enjoy the build. I'll catch you guys later.